Hey guys, on today's episode, I am going to be talking with Dr. Tania Farran. If you remember, I talked with her back in March, episode number 65, From Teacher to Leader, Innovating Education as a Virtual Principal. And I'm going to be talking with her again today, however, about AI and how AI is going to actually be a really important part of education. It's here to stay. We might as well embrace it. There are some ways that you can use it in a very beneficial way. So I hope you enjoy today's episode with Dr. Tania Farran and myself as we talk about how AI, particularly Rubi AI, can be an asset in education. Hi, friend. Are you ready to move into a leadership position? Do you have interests and ambitions that you want to pursue, but feel like you don't know how to take that next step? Maybe you want to start your own coaching or consulting agency. I'm Mel, and I help educators define their career path through correct mindset, knowing your options, and getting prepared for your career transition. I will show you how to level up your leadership skills, share your expertise in a new way, create impact on a larger scale, and put your leadership in motion. As an educator for over 20 years, I started to feel underused and like I had more to give. I knew when the time had come for me to leave the classroom and affect change on a larger level. Now, I'm ready to help you determine where your talents and skills mesh with your passions and interests. Put your leadership in motion and move into that next phase of your educational career journey. Let me help you define your career path by having the right mindset, knowing your options, and getting prepared for that next leadership position. So power up and put your leadership in motion. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mel Vandevort. And today I have with me Dr. Tania Farran. She has been on the show before. She was actually on back in March 1st, the March 1st episode, which is episode 65. And it is titled From Teacher to Leader, Innovating Education as a Virtual Principal. And she talked about being a virtual principal at that time, which she still is. But she also does something on the side, which is called Rubi AI. And I really wanted her to come on and talk to us today about that because it's really kind of revolutionary. And I really love how you can integrate it into all aspects of your life for sure. And they're making some updates. They're doing some great things. So welcome to the show first, Dr. Farran.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. I love it.
I love having repeat guests on the show, and I've not had a lot. I'm not actually sure I've had any on this podcast, but I've had repeat guest hosts on Choose Your Next Guest. But I think you're my first repeat on this episode or this podcast, so kind of exciting. And I love that, you and I have built a relationship over the last year or two. And I really, even though we've never met in person, I really kind of feel like you're one of my good friends and you're always there on the other side if I have something I need to ask or want to bounce an idea off of. So I love that about you. So welcome to the show first. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. And I feel the same, Dr. Mel. It has been such fun getting to know you and being your friend. So I've loved that. I'm excited to be here today to talk about one of my favorite passions, education. My other latest favorite passion, AI, Rubi AI, to be specific about it. So just a little bit about me, a little history of me. I have been in education my whole career. I'm at 27 plus years. I don't know. When do you stop counting? In education, I've been a teacher, administrator at all levels, in person and virtual. Currently a virtual middle school principal. Absolutely love all of those options and love working with kids and families. With that being said, I also own my own company called Creative Living Ideas, where I have published 9 different books. My favorite, my baby, Raising the Well-Adjusted Child, A Parent's Manual, goes right along with that educator piece because it's so important to me to be able to help our parents raise their children. And so I've spent a lot of time doing that. But that's part of my company that I have. And then I have Rubi in my life. Rubi is an AI software tool that I've been introduced to and that I use for everything. So that's an important piece. I use it for everything. But today we're specifically going to talk about how you can use it in education and what's happening in education with AI right now. What are some of the concerns that people are having or questions that people have about how to use AI in education right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we sometimes devalue certain things because we're scared of it or scared of what it can do, but that's because we're not educated on what it really can do or how it can be beneficial. We always flip to the negative end of things. And my son, he's building a business, and my 2 older sons, they're building a business together. And my oldest son has been using AI to help really think about how things should look and sound. And my middle son, he's like, I don't want him just to rely on AI. I want it to be something quality. And I'm like, son, you're looking at it wrong. As a matter of fact, when I was writing my book, and I'm gonna do a little bit of promo here. It's called Educator to Entrepreneur. And I used Rubi in that writing process. The ideas were my own, but I would get stuck on what to say or how to say something, or my message wasn't clear, or being the good ELA teacher that I am, I can't leave you with a 3-sentence paragraph. So I'm like, okay, I don't know how to fix this paragraph to make it longer. So I would use Rubi to help me expand things, to get my thoughts in order, that kind of stuff. And it was so beneficial. It was still me. It was still my work. It just helped me get clear on what I wanted to say or how to say it. And so I think that's, something that educators can really start to rely on rather than be scared of.
It's so true. We were actually just having this discussion yesterday. School is out for us, and my teachers, before they left, I'm a middle school virtual principal, and they wanted to know, they were starting to get papers and things turned in that students had written with AI, and how much AI would we accept? So again, I work for a technology company, and so we are forward thinking in the sense of being able to, how can we incorporate AI into our life? And we do have to teach our kids how to use AI and how to use it responsibly, because they're going to need it for their careers, because the AI is not going to go away. The thought from our leader for Rubi AI, Robert Sacco, is, it's not AI is going to take your job. It's the person that knows how to use AI that's going to take your job. So as educators, it's our responsibility to teach our kids about AI and how to use it, what it can be used for, and how to use it responsibly. And that's just everything. It's just like anything that you use. I go back and I think about, a long time ago when we had encyclopedias on the rolling carts in our classrooms. Mm-hmm. Everybody was waiting for the S encyclopedia or the this encyclopedia. And we taught our kids how not to plagiarize by copywriting the entire piece, right? And just writing it verbatim, but to put it in their own words, right?
Yes.
We taught kids how to use the encyclopedia. Then when the internet came available and we had that on their fingertips, we taught our kids how to not copy and paste and plagiarize from that piece. Mm-hmm. So now we have to teach our kids about how to use AI and what can you use it for.
Yes, because you can be so creative with it and still use it responsibly, like you said. And as a teacher, I know there were some students that I had, AI wasn't real big back, or at least the term AI. We've had AI for a long time. You just don't always think about what AI really is.
Right.
And so you've been using AI in different capacities in your life. You just didn't call it AI because it wasn't Chat GPT or something like that.
Yeah.
But we've had it. And I wish, back when I was in the classroom, I left the classroom in 2016. I wish I had known more about things like that then, or it was bigger then, because there were some students who could have really benefited from the use of it to help them be more organized, get their thoughts in order, figure out a way to say something, but it still be their own, because you just have to teach people how to use it responsibly, but also use it to benefit them. So it's not being plagiarized. You're not just defaulting to whatever it says. I use it for my podcasting, and sometimes it'll give me this great podcast episode that I can expound on, an outline, or sometimes it'll give me something and I'm like, what in the world are you saying to me? But then I can go back and fix it and pick out the parts that work for me and then get rid of the parts that don't and change it to be my own.
Right. Exactly. And the thing specifically about Ruby, that there's some components. Okay. So let's break this down for a minute and just talk about the teacher side and the student side of it. As administrative teacher side, right? So I have been using Ruby AI, in my newsletters. I do use the chat for that. There's also Ruby, when you type into the chat, you have to specifically ask the chat for what your output is. And the nice thing about Ruby is that Ruby has the 150 pre-built modules that you can go in and there's stock email generators. So you can create a specific email to families just based upon a few things that you're putting into it without having to just use a chat system. So it's already ready. And it says, is this for a newsletter? Is this a thank you? Is this so it gives you these prompt options to be able to choose. So I use that, so that's nice. As an administrator also, we have virtual studio. So yesterday I created the cutest image, for next year's school theme. And we're a bluebird and it is a bluebird and it's flying in a beautiful sky. Well, then I grabbed and threw it on Canva and made this cute little phrase with it. And it's kind of our little image for our theme for the year. And so very easily done. I didn't have to go digging and searching. I typed in what I wanted the image to be and Ruby created it. And so those were just a couple things that I've used immediately myself just this past week with Ruby. Now, as a student, I think there's incredible pieces that can be used as students, especially if you're getting your kids. There's the pre-built modules for like marketing plans for young kids. I mean, at every age, we tell our kids to create, by the end of the year, it's like, we're going to create a product, right? Create a product, sell it. How do you do that? How do you market it? Make your design. Like, it can all be done through AI and kids love it. And kids just will dive into that sort of thinking and planning.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's it. Kids aren't scared to try things. And we just have to guide them to do it the correct way. But they are all about this being creative with AI. And I have used many of the modules that are in Ruby. Not all of them, not even close to all of them.
Sure.
And I have the consistent ones that I use. I love that about Ruby. But what I also really love about Ruby is that you can create the different personas or profiles. And then I can keep all my different things separate and I can just go into that specifically. So all of the content within that profile is specific to either choose your next yes. I have a profile for that. I have a profile for Empowered Educator and now I have a profile for Empowered Pathways Network. So everything I do within that is separate. So then, ChatGPT, like you create something and it just keeps funneling down and getting pushed and you're like, okay, I know I created something sometime back a month or two ago, and then you scroll and scroll and scroll, and then you're like 6 months back and you still haven't found it because there's no way to separate all of that in ChatGPT. So Ruby has fixed that. And so it's so amazing to be able to do that. So thinking about a teacher, you can like create these different profiles for whatever it is. You can create your ELA profile or your social studies profile, whatever you need to do, whatever you're teaching, and then keep all of that separate. And you can even do your personal life profile separate from your professional life.
Well, exactly. And inside Ruby, there's teaching modules and I want you to explain how you used it for your business part, but as a teacher or as a parent, those of you that are parents out there for the summer with your kids, I was able to do a demo for the company, on the lesson plan modules. And I just did some things that parents could do in the summer, like, create 5, they called it modules within that module, lessons, 5 lessons on, bugs in the Midwest in the summertime for kids to do activities with. And so it was a whole lesson plan of every day of what to do to go in and get their microscopes and collect and what to look at and how to research them. Then there's also topic research. So you can have your kids, decide whether they find a ladybug and they can type in for topic research. And then this research will come out for that. And then they can go into Virtual Studio and they can create images of ladybugs. But we did it on bubbles. We did it on bugs. We did it on, I did an entire content or unit for, the Boston Tea Party. As a teacher, I was a 5th grade teacher, so I always taught, American history. And so, there's pre-built modules for topic research. There's pre-built modules for, citation of essays, so college level essays. And there's topic research also in there. So, and study guides. It's a great way you can do that. A lot of our kids that have IEPs, they're required to have study guides with them. Not every unit has the study guide that you need, so you can put in the information that you need and out will come the study guide for you as a teacher. So there's so many different ways that you can use those lesson plans.
Actually, I'm getting ready to do a group course based on my book. And so I go in there and I put all the information in, and I've been building my modules for my group course based on one of the modules from Ruby. And so it helps me kind of get my thoughts in order. And if it doesn't give me exactly what I need, then I can take that chunk, I can plug it in somewhere else. I tend to pull it and put it in the chat so then I can manipulate it exactly the way I want it. So I'll create it in the module, then I'll grab that chunk, move over to chat within Ruby, and be able to get exactly the output that I'm looking for. So yes, you gave me this great outline. Now let's expand on that. Let's put it in second person. Let's put it in first person. And let's give it an inspirational tone, whatever I want, or let's keep it very informative, and it will spit out ideas for me. And so then I can go back in and say, okay, now give me some action steps for this lesson. And it gives me the action steps. And so it's so easy to manipulate to get exactly what you're looking for, get the output that you're looking for. It just takes a little practice.
Right. Exactly. So that in itself, right there, that statement that you just said, until you get what you are looking for, that's the piece that parents have to understand. And I think educators, we have to understand too. Like, if we have a student who turns something in to us and we know it is not their voice, their tone, it's not their, and they can't explain it, or it doesn't align with what the assignment may be, then, that's when we would tell the student, you need to go back and redo. We are looking at percentages of how much AI are we going to accept. So we are doing a little bit of research on that ourselves, right now, but that's the key. Everyone thinks AI is doing the work for you, but it has to speak to what you are wanting it to do. And I'm going to do that too, Dr. Mel. I'm doing a book study, on my parenting book this summer. And so, I am going to use the lesson plan module to help me hone in. I mean, I have it broke down, but I want to, kind of create some specific lessons. And when you told me that, I thought that was such a great idea. I'm going to use that too for my business. Yeah.
Yeah. Because adults learn differently than students. When you're trying to think, okay, so you created for the bugs and all of that, you've created stuff that is student facing.
Yes.
Young student facing. So when you're doing adult student facing, it has to look different. And sometimes you're like stuck and you can't come up with something that they need to do. I do a lot of passion purpose work, and I really want to come up with something that is beneficial, not just busy work, because even adults don't like busy work. And so we don't have time for busy work. And I want it to be beneficial. So again, you put that in there, you manipulate it until you get what works for you and will work for whoever you are presenting it to. So mine is an adult audience.
Yes. So let's tell the audience, just so they can understand, these modules that are pre-built have specific topics. Like there's education ones, there are writing ones, so they're specific to writing, different things like essays, ebooks, different emails, things like that. There's business ones, there's marketing ones, there's just for social media. So they're all pre-built, ready for you to go with what you're wanting to create. So that's really helpful. And I love that you talk about that with adults, because we are educators, aren't we? I mean, period. Yeah. We're educators. So here we are. We're going to educate you. We want to help you. We want to help you. We want to help you. So, And Ruby is helping us really narrow down and focus with what we want to, our messages that we want to get out.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely. Absolutely. So when you're thinking about using Ruby in the school setting, you're an administrator. So you've talked a little bit about what that should look like, but like really what is the responsibility of an administrator in the building? So my audience is either aspiring administrators or brand new administrators. You know, they're trying to navigate being a new administrator, all of the things that go along with that. And now we've got AI on top of all of that. So give them some tips, some words of wisdom on how to make sure that you're doing exactly what you need to do within the context of AI within your building.
Yes. Great question. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is you need to start using AI to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always laughed in the summer. This is a little side note. In the summer, because I was elementary for a long time, I would watch all of the kids' movies in the summer that the kids liked because I was doing my homework. I was doing my homework so that I was ahead of the game. I knew what my kids liked. I could draw them in. I understood what they were talking about. You know, so I always did that in the summer. That's the job of an administrator right now. In the summer, you need to be researching AI. Grab a subscription from Dr. Mel of Ruby AI. And, you know, she can get you a subscription to this. It's super inexpensive. Get in, play around with it. And I'm here to tell you, Ruby's already incredible, but when version 2 comes out, you guys, this is going to really expand and be able to go into your music rooms, into your art rooms. I mean, I'm talking to people at universities who are wanting it for like their, you know, like graphic designing, all of that sort of thing. Like there is so much coming with Ruby that you won't have to look anyplace else, but get in and dig into, and I would say use Ruby because Ruby is going to has so many different features in it that are already available to people. So like people that are using Discord to get onto Midjourney or get onto other pieces, we already have Midjourney, which is a image creator. We already have that. We already have DALL-E 3 included. In version 2, we'll have ChatGPT 3.5, ChatGPT 4.0, Claude. We'll have other ones like that. There's going to be Ruby Music, Ruby Audio, voiceovers. Like there is so much you're going to be able to do. And it's like $20 a month.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Inexpensive at the lowest level. There's 3 packages right now as a customer. There's 20, 30, and 55. I would go with the 30 or the 55. I have the 50 and there's so much to use and they're not charging you more for all of those things.
Right. Yeah.
So why would
I
you
also have the 50.
10 different subscriptions, you know, when you can have one?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So
and it does so much. And I haven't even played with half of what it does yet. And so I'm getting in there as often as I can and trying to learn the different things. And I have used the image creator once or twice, but I need to get in there and use it a little bit more and learn the whole system a little bit better. But yeah, and this can be amazing for your students in your building. They can create so many different things. And we have a plagiarism checker it's already embedded. It's embedded in there. So.
And an AI detector.
Yes. Yes. When I was writing my book, I would put things in and it would be like, this is 95% AI. I'm like, actually that was not, but okay, apparently if it sounds that much like AI, I guess I tend to use some of the AI terminology like delve and dive and all that. Yeah. You know, that's like every AI system out there uses delve, dive, and journey. Those are the 3. But I don't even remember where I was going with that now, but.
No, but it does. It has a plagiarism checker. It has an AI detector. And I've tested it. It's pretty reliable. I feel like, you know, to go in and do that. And it has readability. So you can check the reading ease of something. So if you are putting something out to, you know, your students who are in, you know, 5th grade, you want to make sure that the reading ease is at their level, you know, type of a thing. So there's a lot of different components within just Ruby. And then there's Ghost where you can rewrite things so that it isn't detected by AI. So it changes the format of it. So there's so many pieces to it that you can use as an administrator. I would get a subscription, from Dr. Mel, and I would start playing with it because, and you're going to love it. So it's amazing. It's incredible. And it's easy to use. It's really user friendly.
Yes, it really is. It really is. And especially I'm sure with the new updates coming, it's just going to get better and better and better because I'm sure they've used feedback and they've adjusted things based on people who are using it. So if you want to give some feedback, get in there and use it so you know what to give feedback on.
Yes.
So wonderful, wonderful. Give me one last tip for my audience. Anything that you want to say to them about anything?
I would just say, be open-minded. Learn as much as you can right now about what is available with AI out there. You can have a really good time with it. So just be open to it.
Absolutely. And I create content so much quicker with AI.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like marketing, you were talking about the marketing and stuff. I create my promos for different things. I use it to take a transcript and pull great information out of that so I can use that for promos, and I get a description for my podcast episodes. And so it really speeds up my process on the back end a lot for different things. So teachers, administrators, you can speed up and take out some of the time spent on things by using a platform like Rubi.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. So tell us where we can connect with you.
Yeah, of course. So you can go to my website, creativelivingideas.com. That is my website. I'm happy to, my email address is on there. It's Tania Farran at creativelivingideas.com. So you're able to go to that as well. Send me an email, sign up for my newsletter. Let's stay connected. Yeah, would love that.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you guys know that I'll have all of her contact information in the show notes, so you won't have any trouble connecting with Dr. Farran. Thank you so much for being on the show again. This has been a blast. I love talking with you about any topic, but especially things like Rubi, because it's just like you said, it's here to stay and we might as well embrace it.
That's right. That's right. It's been a pleasure. I always love talking to you too, Dr. Mel. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And for the rest of you, have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you back here the same time, same place next week. Bye-bye.